Hi there, I'm Alex from Boldly. In this video, Pauline and I are going to share more with you about the role of supervisor as coach. Now, we're very explicit about that language, supervisor as coach or coaching skills for supervisors. What that means is, first and foremost, your job is still to be the supervisor, the manager of this direct report. You're responsible for performance, for engagement, for retention. All of these things make you inherently biased because your responsibility is not just to the individual supervisee, but also back to the business as well. So through this course, you're not becoming a big C coach. What we're doing here is supporting you to take on coaching style, the skills, the posture, the attitude, so that you can use those skills situationally as and when there's a requirement for developing your supervisee. So, most of your direct reports will be telling you that they like a manager who has a coaching style. What they mean by that is they like bosses who ask them questions, who are interested in their development, who want to support them to find their own journey. So you will find that these skills have so much power for you to support and enable and actually create capability in your direct reports. You still have to understand how and when to use them, when is the appropriate time. So if there's a performance management issue, that's not the right time. If you need to be clear with KPIs, direct objectives, outcomes for the business, not the right time necessarily for coaching. You're really going to use these skills when there's development, learning, and the space for the individual to go and find their own way. Now, stick around for the end of this video because I'm going to share with you a document that you'll be able to use in your coaching journey to make sure that you're really clearly understanding those roles. When to pull in a HRBP, when to pull in a mentor, when to pull in an external coach. There's going to be scenarios where you need to collaborate and team with other people around you to make sure that your supervisee is getting the best development experience that they can.
Hi, this is Pauline from Boldly. As a supervisor using coaching techniques, something you want to be aware of in different kind of situation, a performance issue, functional skill gap, when there is an attitude issue, there are different kind of answer. So whenever there is a performance issue, you need to manage, not coach. What that means is, instead of questioning necessarily, you may find you need to tell or instruct your staff member. Coaching leaves space for the individual to find their own way and work things out. It's more sustainable, but it's a slower learning journey. As a supervisor and someone who is responsible for performance, if you have a low performance situation, your obligation is to be crystal clear. If a person needs performance improvement, don't coach, manage. For instance, if your direct report is missing their KPIs, gossiping, getting poor feedback from clients or colleagues, they deserve your clear instructions on how to improve their language, behavior, and approach to work. All should be laid out by you, and they need your ongoing feedback as they improve. Only as they get performance on track, you should then start to shift your style to a coaching style, giving them more space in the relationship to work out their own performance. Secondly, when there is a functional skill gap, attitude, or technical knowledge your supervisee needs, this is a situation when you need to train rather than coach. They need the information first as a baseline before you can start to coach them. For example, if someone has never seen a hammer before, you must first demonstrate to them how to use it before you give them a try and coach them on their technique. Now you might be thinking, some of my direct reports have great attitudes and learning agility. They just work things out. And that is sometimes true. But for you, as a supervisor, make sure you know when to train first for skills before coaching for mastery and capability on top of that. And this leads us to the last point, when there is an attitude issue. It can be a little bit more fuzzy. Sometimes you need to give feedback as a supervisor first before you coach someone on attitude. For example, if someone has a negative mindset and see everything as hopeless, or if someone seems to have low confidence and it impacts their ability to speak up at work, these are feedback situations first and foremost. Only when your employee is aware of their attitude and agrees they need to develop it, then you can take on a coaching style. you need to think of your coaching effort as a reward for the right mindset of your staff. As before, if you have supervisors with growth mindsets who thrive on working things out, they pick up that hammer and they experiment until they know how to use it themselves. That is the attitude you reward with your coaching time and effort. You're recognizing their positive approach. However, if you have staff with poor attitudes, their general can-do vibes, they are not motivated or energized to learn, they shouldn't garner your coaching effort. From you as a supervisor, using your coaching style as a reward, it's a light you shine on your best staff for bringing the right attitude to work. So use it wisely.
So hopefully now it's crystal clear. Your role is as supervisor, and you will bring a coaching style as and when it's appropriate for the development of your supervisee. There's definitely situations when it's not appropriate, but anytime you see a development opportunity where you have the time, the space, the luxury, let's say, for that individual direct report to find their own way, to take on some reflective practice, and to craft their own way forward with your support and with your questioning, that's when you would use coaching. So if you have a deadline, if you need to apply some pressure for them to learn this lesson really quickly, then it's going to be more of a training or a skills gap scenario. But if you can afford to let them have some trial and error, let them find their own path forward, it's definitely much more sustainable, more engaging for that individual person. Now, I mentioned that we're going to share with you this document.
This document will help you self-coach yourself to decide whether this is a skill or an ability situation you're facing, whether there's an aptitude or an attitude issue, or perhaps whether there's outside factors that you haven't considered for your supervisee. We recommend that you read through the case studies in particular at the end. This will help you consider some of the situations that might arise or things that you may have seen in the past in your managerial experience as well. We've included the questions that we recommend the coach would ask in this situation, some of the responses that they might receive, and again, how they would respond with questions in turn. So this is a great opportunity for you to reflect, to plan ahead, and to start to role play in your own mind how an effective supervisor as coach conversation plays out.
So now that you're clear on the role that you have, the role and the capability of the people around you who you might collaborate with, we're going to use this as the baseline for the videos to come. From here, we will start building your skills and your knowledge, the tools, tips, techniques that you need to actually start deploying that coaching skill as and when you need to.